wondering what we're going to be doing with that steak, we're back doing another steak experiment. And today we're going to be testing how long you actually need to leave your steak out on the kitchen counter in order for it to warm up to room temperature. Now, we've all heard the common convention that before you throw your steak on the barbecue, you want to take it out of the fridge and let it rest on the counter for 20 or 30 minutes in order for the steak to warm up to room temperature. And we want to test just how much warming up the steak actually does in that time, and how long you actually need to let your steak sit on the counter in order to get it up to room temperature fully. So for this is just a continuation of the steak experiments we've been doing. I think we're on steak experiment 13 or 14, where we're just trying out, testing different common conventions or understandings to see whether they do actually make a difference or not. So if you're into that kind of thing, hit the subscribe button so you can stick around for all of the future steak experiments we've got planned. Now, before we jump into this, we just wanted to say thank you. At the filming of this video, we've just hit 15,000 subscribers on this channel, and we can't imagine when we started this out almost a year and a half ago that we'd grow to be this size in such a short period of time. So we just wanted to say thank you. We appreciate every one of you being here. We love reading all your comments below, so keep it up, and here's to another 15,000. So what's the theory? The theory behind this idea is your steak in the fridge is cool, and so if you take it out and put it straight onto the grill, you're actually going to heat up the outer side more quickly than you do the inside, and you'll end up with a more uneven cook. So the idea is let it warm up to room temperature with a 20 or 30 minute rest on the countertop, and then you'll just have a more even cook. And it's not going to be sous vide, wall-to-wall, medium rare, but it should be more even, or at least that's the theory. And this theory, you've got chefs like Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay, the best chefs in the world who will make a recommendation around following this step. You've got even the grill manufacturers like Weber. You talk about them talking about how to grill the perfect steak. They recommend you let it rest for 20 or 30 minutes on the countertop. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to debunk that and test how long you actually need to let your steak rest on the countertop to get it up to room temperature. So you've had the steak cooling in the fridge here for a little while. Now we've got our fridge temperature set at 2 degrees Celsius. So in Fahrenheit, that's about 36 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we've just got it on a cooling rack here, and we've got a temp probe in it. So we're just gonna turn on the temp probe, and we'll show you what temperature this is actually reading here. We've had this steak in for the better part of the day. So we're registering 36, yep, exactly as expected. So we'll take this out of the fridge. Set this on the countertop here. Now we'll check the thermostat. Here we've got a temperature reading of 21 degrees Celsius, which for those of you in the US or more used to imperial, that is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And you'll see we're using our Weber iGrill 2 here, and we've got that temp probe stuck in the thickest part of this T-bone steak here. So we're just gonna use this beautiful T-bone steak to demonstrate this temperature experiment. And we've got it set up here on a cooling rack on a tray so that any juices that drip off the steak end up getting caught and don't make a mess of the counter. And this cooling rack's gonna make sure that we get proper airflow and that the air from the room is able to make maximum contact with the steak and drive toward warming it up to room temperature as quick as possible. You'll see this T-bone perfect specimen here. Its thickness, it is 1.5 inches. We had the butcher specifically cut it that thick. That's our usual size of steak. So we're gonna test it out. So again, we've got the steak on the counter. It was 36 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 degrees Celsius in the fridge. Over on the thermostat, we were reading 21 degrees Celsius or 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're gonna just start a timer here, and we're gonna check back in every 10 minutes and just see how quickly this T-bone steak actually rises to room temperature. So we started this first 10-minute timer at about 7:28. So we're just coming up to the end of the first 10 minutes here, and we're gonna check in, see what the temperature difference has been. So you can see down on the thermometer here, we're registering 39. It was bouncing up to 40 there. So not really much of a temperature increase. So what we're gonna do, we've got the buzzer, 10-minute buzzer officially going off here. So we're gonna cancel that, and then we're gonna start a new 10-minute timer, and we'll check back in 10 minutes to see what the temperature's at. All right, we're just finishing up our second 10-minute interval here. You can see 7:48, we'll start another one, but here are the findings. So we're at 41 degrees. We started at 36, we're trying to get to 70, and so now we're back to 40, 39. So we're up maybe 4 or 5 degrees from our starting point, and we need to get to 70, which is 34 degrees above where we started. So we're not even 20% there, and we're at the 20-minute mark. So we're gonna keep doing these tests for the next 10 minutes and see how long it takes us to get this up to room temperature. So now we're at the half-hour mark, and we'll start another 10-minute timer. And from a temperature standpoint, we're at 44 degrees. So another alarm's just gone off. This 10 minutes, we picked up about another degree. All right, one more 10-minute interval's up, and we're at 48. So here we are at the 1 hour mark, and we're at 50 degrees. So there really hasn't been any movement or much movement over the course of the last 10 minutes, and we're really starting to see things slow down. So we're gonna keep this up, 10-minute intervals for the next hour, and we'll see where we get to at the 2 hour mark. All right, we're an hour and 10 minutes in here. We will start another 10-minute timer, and we are at about 51 degrees Fahrenheit. It's bouncing around, but we'll go with 51. All right, we're at the hour and 20-minute mark, putting on another 10 minutes on the clock, and we're at 54 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're just at the hour and a half mark, starting another 10 minutes, and we're at 55 degrees. Just finishing up another interval. We'll start another 10 minutes. So one final 10-minute interval, and here we are, 56 degrees. All right, we are coming up on the 2 hour mark. So stop this, and we're at 57 degrees, so one degree higher. So let's just do a recap and summarize here. So what did we learn from this steak experiment and using this T-bone here for the better part of 2 hours out on the kitchen counter? Well, I think there's a couple takeaways. First, if your goal is to leave your steak out on the countertop for 20 minutes and have it warm up to room temperature, you're just kidding yourself. Forget about it. If you want to actually let your steak warm up to room temperature, you're going to be venturing into territory where food safety is going to become an issue. At the 2 hour mark on our test, we had only heated our steak up about 50% of the way to room temperature. You'll recall we started at 36 degrees as the internal temperature in the fridge, and we were trying to get up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We only made it halfway after 2 hours. And at the 20-minute mark, we were only a little over 10% the way there. So that 20-minute piece just isn't gonna cut it. Second takeaway, I'm still learning, we're all still learning. I know we're gonna get some comments saying, hey guys, you filmed a video a while ago on your steak experiment saying that the 20-minute rest was actually a really important step. Well, you know what? We've taken a more scientific approach to it. We had a suggestion from someone to do this video and really put the science to work to just see how much of a temperature difference this time actually makes. And frankly, getting an extra 10 or 12 degrees over the course of a 20-minute rest on the countertop isn't gonna make a difference when you're trying to take your steak from 36 degrees to, if you're going for medium rare, 128 degrees. So that 10-degree difference, you're better off just saving yourself some time and just slapping it out on the cast iron pan or the grill directly. You don't have to believe Gordon Ramsay or Bobby Flay or all these others. We've done the test here, and in our minds and in my mind, I'm sold. We're not going to be resting our steaks out on counters to let them warm up at all. It's just going straight from the fridge out onto the grill. So if you like this test and you want to see more of these steak experiments, give us a like below. Leave in the comments any kind of experiment that you'd like to see, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more experiments to come. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one. And now there's just one thing left to do. Grill this steak up. We're going indirect reverse sear here. Got this up to 114. We've got our Weber just absolutely cranked up. Let's get the sear station on here. Just turn that 90 degrees. Turn it 90 degrees again. Now that is a T-bone.